connect without Noma or Tariq knowing.
Good. I'm taking 20%.
I went back in.
I'm cocky, motherfucker.
Do whatever it takes to convince him to give you that product.
Customers.
Can't wait to see his body turn cold.
I know why I'm doing this, but why are you?
They gotta get what's coming to them. I'm not gonna rest until that happens. I gotta become the apex predator.
Welcome back, Top Notch Gang, to another video, and this one we're talking about the new plug of Brayden and Tariq that they're gonna get in season 4 episode 3 of Power Book 2 Ghost. And with that, we got a lot of new clues that's gonna take place of how this plug can possibly connect to the likes of Noma and Cane. I'm gonna piece it all together with you guys based off the episode descriptions that we received, as well as the new trailers that we've been seeing all over social media. So I'm gonna piece it all together. Of course, we're gonna have to mention Davis' involvement, Cane's cage fights, how Noma reacts to Tariq getting back into the game, because we know she told that better not catch you selling a fucking aspirin. So I'm gonna go ahead and break it all down for you guys. As usual, you can leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know any other videos you want to see before episode 3 airs, but let's go ahead and get right into it. So for starters, we have the description for episode 403, Birthright. Tariq and Brayden must find an end with a vicious new connect. Monet digs into who shot her, realizing her kids might not be being honest with her. Noma tasks Cane with handling a competitor operating on her turf. Now keep the Noma and Cane situation in the back of your heads for now. Let's focus on Tariq and Brayden. So we first have to go back to the premiere of season 4, where we saw Brayden and Tariq talking in the car about being normal everyday college students, and not too long after that they got their wish. They got a truce with Noma. They couldn't sell anything. She told them don't sell a fucking aspirin. Basically, they're out the game. But Tariq, by the end, he wasn't even satisfied with this. Going into episode 2, they had to work regular jobs. They got my nigga sweeping and shit, washing chalk straps, being a busboy. And this is just so funny because it reminds me of what Ghost told this nigga.
Your mother and I are telling you that you're gonna ruin your life. When I was your age, I thought it was the right thing to do. My father tried to get me to turn my back on the streets. I didn't listen. I'm trying to protect you from a life of misery, son.
Now him and Tasha, they're literally living on scrap. She's working at a fucking mini mart or some shit, and he made the decision that he wants to get back in the game. Noma, Cane, Effie, all of them, he says they gotta get what's coming to them. And that brings us to the episode 3 trailer where we see Tariq telling Davis to find him a new plug that Noma doesn't know about. Davis obviously down to do it for a percentage, that is, obviously, but they meet this new nigga, and I'm not gonna lie, he looked like something wrong with him. He looked crazy. He looked vicious, because it doesn't seem like the guy wants to work with them at first. They drop a bag on the table, he throws that shit clean off, and as we can see, Davis tells them do everything in their power to make sure they get the product. In another scene, he calls them new customers. Now, where things start to get interesting is, of course, the fighting cages. Obviously, he has some level of control over these fighting pits and cages, as we see Davis, Tariq, and Brayden are watching one of the fights, and I assume this is when they're going to meet the new plug. Now, obviously, that's relevant and important because of what's said in the episode 3 trailer about Noma tasking Cane with taking out a competitor operating on her turf. This is very interesting because we know Cane is eventually gonna fight in these cages as well. We saw it way back in the black and white trailers, and now we got even more sneak peeks and exclusive scenes coming forward. So as you can see, Cane is fighting this nigga specifically, the new plug that Tariq and Brayden are gonna start working with. So obviously we're led to believe that this is possibly the competitor that Noma is trying to handle. And if that's the truth, then obviously she will find out that Tariq is back in business and back in the game. And I think this sets a lot in motion. I also think that's why we hear her say in the trailer, I can't wait to see his cold body. She obviously could be talking about this new competitor, or she could be talking about Tariq. We're just gonna have to wait and see for that. Also, we know there's gonna be a meetup between Davis and Tariq and Noma and Cane on the other side. And them finding out he's back in the game is possibly what led to this meetup happening. Prior to that, we see Davis Davis and Tariq in the car talking about it, and Davis is asking him, I know why I'm doing this, but why are you? What you're back in the game for? You can move on, you could get out. Why are you making this decision? And Tariq is basically saying all these motherfuckers are gonna pay. Just like I said earlier, they're gonna get what's coming to them. And that includes Diana, Drew, Cane, Noma, Effie, all of them. So he's out for blood, out for revenge. We're gonna have to see how this meetup with him, Noma, Cane, and Davis goes, but I do think this starts and comes from the fact that he's back in the game and working for this new competitor. Also, don't be surprised if this new plug is not just a competitor but also turns out to be an ally, because this episode 4 description does say Noma has Cane will make an ally of a powerful player. So that means we're gonna have to see if Cane in the fighting cages take place in episode 3 or 4, because that's gonna change drastically how the situation with this new plug go. Once again, we do see them fighting one another, so if I was betting money, I would lean towards him operating on her turf and she trying to take him out. Nonetheless, she can use him going forward, and when they find out about Tariq, they're gonna want that nigga dead. Now, we do get a few other scenes of Tariq and Brayden from the trailer that can possibly give us clues of how they getting good with this new plug and connect. First off, we see them getting like a briefcase of money from these two people in these suits. Obviously, they're giving it to Brayden. This could be some type of trust fund or some savings or something. Obviously, I think this is the money they're using to give up front to the plug to get the product. The money we see him knock away in the bag. I think that's what's taking place in this scene. But also, with Davis telling them to find any way necessary to get the product, I don't think he's gonna give it to them at first, and that's why we see this van blowing up on fire, product exploding. I don't know if Tariq and Brayden are destroying that Connect's product so that he has to come to them, has to work with them so he can make his money back, or if they're targeting Noma and getting rid of her, because if them two are competitors, this could give him a sign of good faith from Tariq and Brayden, and it's why he decides to let them in on his product and everything like that. So we're gonna have to see what these details of going on in this new trailer is. We know it won't just be easy as them walking in and getting a new plug. They're gonna have to show a sign of good faith. One of the future episode descriptions, I believe it's 6 or 7, described Tariq trying to get back in Noma's good graces. So after this meetup with Davis takes place, this is probably him trying to get in that spot. I think something we'll have to pay attention to about this is, of course, Cane, if he's willing to let him back in, because if he finds out, of course, Diana is pregnant by him, he might be mad at first, but then he might actually let him work with him because Diana having his baby, they're kind of family now. That doesn't really sound like Cane, but we'll see. We also know this will possibly be after Monet discovered what her kids did. We know how her and Cane are going to react at first, shooting at them, but when Monet forgives them, what path will Cane then take going forward? As we know, he's going to go after Drew. So Tariq, he's possibly going to be caught in the middle of all these characters connecting to one another, and he's eventually going to have to make moves, pick a side, either choose to fully be in the game or fully be out. Right now, we see he's steering towards being in. He doesn't know about the pregnancy yet, of course, but a lot of shit is about to blow up in all these characters' faces come these next 2 to 3 episodes before the break. Last thing I do want to mention is about Obi. I made my debt predictions video before the season. I talk about him in that video, and with Noma looking more and more likely to have Cane next to her as we read through all the episode descriptions, as we've seen a lot of these leaked and exclusive scenes, he is gonna get interrogated. We saw him in the trailer at the police station ago. We don't know if he's a snitch or anything, but that's something else to keep an eye out on as Cane grows to take Obi's spot. Overall, that's it for this video. You guys can leave your thoughts and opinions on everything down below in the comments on how you think Tariq and his relationship with this new plug goes. If you believe he's the competitor that Noma is talking about, or the powerful player that she wants to be an ally. We once again know he's gonna be fighting Cane, whether that's episode 3 or 4 has yet to be seen, but this connection is gonna come about. They're gonna find out Tariq is back in the game. they're obviously gonna want him dead. She already kind of said she was still gonna go after him because going after her daughter is something that's just unforgivable, but now she's really gonna try to take this nigga out. I don't know, a lot has yet to be seen. As usual, you guys can leave a like, comment, subscribe. Like I said though, on to the next video. Let me know what else you want to see before episode 3 airs, but I'm out.